Hey Barry, what's new?
I don't know. I hear a lot of people talking about passing kidney stones and drinking urine.
Because it's sterile and like the taste?
So, Greg, what are you talking about today?
Are there less links in Gemini now? And you're in for a treat with some of these results.
And Morty?
I don't care anymore. I'm just talking about urine with Greg. No, the impact or overall scope or problems analyzing the March 2024 core update.
And I'll be touching on Statcounter, disavow links, and the helpful content update, which is no more.
All right, first up from Barry over at Search Engine Roundtable by way of Glenn Gabe. Glenn had seen Gemini, the artist formerly known as Bard, kind of linking out less to different sources. And there was an example of what it used to show for, what link schemes are against Google's webmaster guidelines with links out to different, the citations going out to different sites. That seems to be all removed at this point. And I know, Barry, you had poked around. It looked like there was some links going out to other Google properties. But I think Morty made a great point last week where people really want to verify, right? It's like you had that example where Darth Vader had taken the helmet off because he wanted to verify RJ-D2 or with his own eyes,
with his
right?
own eyes.
Right. And so I think that's one of the issues here is all this information is great, but when you don't have any citations, how can people verify this? And we've kind of seen ChatGPT getting some heat with this, right? And they've actually changed to have more citations, more links out. And it's just odd to see Gemini go this route towards less links out to other sites. And that parlays in nicely with the fact that there was an AI answer is what it's called. It used to be the experimental. They changed the name to the what was the name of it before? It was
AI overview
with and then the experimental information on there. Now it just is AI answer, and somebody had put in allegedly how to pass kidney stones quick, and the answer is drink plenty of fluids such as water, ginger ale, lemon lime soda, or fruit juice can help pass more quickly. You should aim to drink at least 2 quarts of urine every 24 hours, and your urine should be light in color.
I do every day.
A lot of urine.
It's again sterile and it tastes good.
How are you create like 2 liters of urine is a lot. That's a lot of urine.
Like 1 shot glass of urine is a lot.
But 2 liters, that's imagine that. You're just like, it's my urine bottle. It's like, those bottles where it's like you have like a gallon and it's like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock.
But it's interesting, yeah, for sure. I mean, not the urine thing. I mean, the whole Gemini thing with links, you can verify by clicking on that little Google save icon logo on the Gemini result. I should have put this in the story. You click that, and then it says checking Google search to verify answer, and then it will show you links with verified sources, but with the arrows down. So it takes a lot of effort.
Forward and or transparent. You have to click to get to the next thing, like
right. And that Google like verified icon was there for a while, and at some point Google decided that's enough and removed the links. I don't know why, but yeah, I think people who see urine as examples to drink urine are going to want to verify that before they start drinking urine.
You would hope they would. But also, can I just ask, why is Google even bothering with SGE for these kind of queries? Just stay away from YMYL, no?
That was the intent. They were supposed to stay away. Well, SGE was supposed to stay away from that, from like these YMYL queries. Gemini, that wasn't necessarily supposed to stay away from that.
I'm fine. So, but like at least on the SERP though,
let me know what you think after you drink those 2 liters of urine.
Yeah, I know we talked about it before, but perplexity.ai, I think, has the best citations out there. It's simple, it's clear. Even with this AI answer, I couldn't replicate it. It actually said to drink, and for me, 2 liters of or enough liquids to be able to crank out 2 liters of urine, not to drink it. But even those citations, like you just get a random grouping of sites, and you have to go out and try to figure out. There's one paragraph, and you just get 3 different sources for it. And now I got to go do work instead of you just putting that citation on the actual point that you took it from.
So you're saying they updated it. I didn't check after I posted the story. So you said they updated it.
I put in what it looked to be that query, and it is showing me now that you need to produce 2 quarts of urine, not to actually drink it, Morty. So
what do you do after you produce it?
Too late.
You give it to those fools that are trying to pass kidney stones from their information from last week.
Interesting. Good to know. Anyway, I updated the Gemini story about the Google fave icon button. So hopefully I appreciate you pointing that out. And then Mordy, I know you wanted to cover some type of story.
Yeah, that's pretty specific.
Did you verify it with Google?
Covering the analysis from some guy on Search Engine Land about the March 2024 corrupt date, where they showed a bunch of data from Search showing that there seemed to be a lot of new URLs that were previously unrewarded now ranking in the top 10 after the core update. And that's a significant increase when you compare the March update to the November 2023 core update, which is the last update before the March one. But then you move up to the more of the top of the SERPs, the top 5 results, you don't see the same number of new URLs. So, which is what I happen to see, like running through like 300 of these like SERP queries. My general impression was that a lot of the rankings were very stable at the top of the SERP, and towards like 5 to 10, it got a little bit more hinky. That's, by the way, a very horizontal look at the very normalized data. So in your particular cases that you're looking at, the sites that you're working on, you might have seen a crazy amount of volatility, the top 3 to 5 results, which is also like what they showed in the article. This person showed in the article, whoever they are, that once you start looking at a lot of the actual sites getting impacted, the impact seemed to be a little bit more heavy-handed. So if you're getting away from the normalized data and looking at just who was impacted, the impact does seem anecdotally to be a little bit heavier or noticeably heavier with the March 2024 core update relative to the November 2023 core update.
Yeah, I always find it interesting because I always, like, I go to the data providers, which you are sourcing one of them, and I ask them to give me some data and what their thoughts are on these updates. This was a big challenge. Like, you're like the only one who really came back with anything from SEMrush. And I didn't really feel like I should do a story on one provider. So I'm like, More, do you want to write it? And you said, absolutely not. I said, please. And you said, okay, sure, I'll do it. And it was interesting, your take, because when you write that, I'm sure you got the feedback like, my site tanked and everything was destroyed. And I don't know what you're talking about. You don't know anything. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, because people are like so quick to be like, oh, that didn't, like, it's normalized data across the entire web. Most websites don't really move.
Right.
Oh, yeah. I get, like, death threats or things like that also.
Death threats are great. I mean, it keeps you going. So
yeah, that's what motivates me.
No, but I appreciate it. It's good to have that data at the aggregate level, but of course, it's aggregate. So you got to take that into, but it's good to see comparing aggregate data across many core updates and helpful content updates and stuff like that. But talking about helpful content update or not, John Mueller was upset with my title from my story, I think last Thursday, about how I said John Mueller said basically that you could recover from a helpful content update, but it takes time. John Mueller as well, there is no helpful content update. I'm like, I know there's no helpful content update anymore. It's a core update. And he said, yeah, it's a core update. Any event, now he's telling people that not only can you recover, but you can actually grow. And people who are hit by that September helpful content update, I mean, Glenn Gabe's tracking hundreds of sites like we discussed before, and not one saw any inkling of recovery. And in fact, they actually saw more declines. We would expect to see at least 1 or 2 sites recover, but we did not. But there is hope. John Mueller said personally he will help people recover. He didn't say this, but he said sites will recover over time if they do what's right. It just takes a long, long, long time, and you have to have John's blessing to do so.
And 2 liters of urine.
Just pour it on your laptop and see how that works. But it's a very heated topic. It's one of the heated topics I cover, and the comments are, it's just, I mean, I had like almost 500 comments on the last story, which I posted Thursday. I'm going to probably have like, I don't know, 500 comments on this story. And they're all not very positive towards Google. Talking about not being positive towards Google was Statcounter. That's what they're called. Yeah, Statcounter. And they're the industry, they track, search engine market share as well as other market share across all the properties. and they said that Google lost significant market share last month to this month. And then they updated their data and they said, no, we're wrong. Sorry. And it was cool because, we saw, Glenn Gabe and Danny Goodwin say, this looks weird. Everybody in the SEO industry is sharing that, Google lost market share. They deserve it. Their results are horrible. We knew this would happen. And I think this data was like really bad. It was like they reported that Google's US market share in the US market share in the US fell to 77% from almost 87%. But then they updated the data to show that it was back to 86% or so. So it didn't really fall at all. Bing did not grow 10 points. Yahoo did not grow 500% or whatever number it was. The data was invalid and Google's market share has been fine despite Greg, going through his cushions and finding more coins to buy more ads.
Yeah. And I just want you to know what you two both just combined, the quote. This could be like a t-shirt for It's New. You had said, death threats, they keep me going. They motivate me. You guys sound like a superhero. And I'm sure Statcounter got a couple of death threats from the Google PR team. Joking. But
I'm sure they email everybody. I don't think they respond. I don't know if they respond.
Yeah.
We emailed them at Search Engine Roundtable. I don't think we got a response. So
I'm just happy that Barry took all the deflection away from my article by writing an article and getting John all upset.
yeah, but
I
like
don't think he was upset. But he gets a lot of Barry says this. Well, John, what are you saying? And then John has to be like, I didn't say that. But people just read the title of the post, and I'm like, I can't fit everything into a title. I mean, I can if I write titles as long as some people, but. That being said, you no longer need to disavow my articles because John Mueller said that eventually Google will remove the disavow link tool and you won't be able to disavow links from my site anymore. So too bad. You're going to have to link to me. You don't have a choice because that disavow tool is going away at some point. Noting that Bing actually removed it several months ago. And actually, Bing was the first search engine to actually have a disavow link tool in the first place. Google's been playing catch up on this disavow link tool forever. Bing brought it out. Google was like, oh, that's a good idea. We'll do it too. Now Bing removes it. Google's like, oh, that's a good idea. We'll remove it. So.
I mean, if Google really can do what they say, it makes sense, and there are, I know Glenn has been calling this like every year that like, this is a year it's going to be removed. But I see people put through, I mean, I've looked at sites that have disavowed Google. It's like, what on earth are you doing? Like, it's such a,
was it Bing?
No, it wasn't Bing.
Well, if you're recommending urine to drink urine, I think you should disavow that. I mean,
yeah. But yeah, I think it could cause so much harm that it's probably a good thing for people.
People still like SEOs. I from what I hear, through the grapevine, people are still spending tons of time disavowing links.
It's a checklist for the SEO agency to bill for. It's like we'll disavow link files. So that's what they do, and I don't blame them. If it's still there, they should keep doing it because once Google removes it, fine, don't do it. But it's really up to Google to remove it, just like Google removed PageRank scores from their Google Search Console and toolbar ages ago because we were selling links with high PageRank scores. So that's going to go away and at some point, and we all expected that to go away at some point. And that's good, I think, because like you said, Glenn Gabe is saying this, but basically Gary from Google did say that the disavow tool actually does hurt more than it helps people. That being said, I appreciate you both all being here. Thank you so much, and have a great day.